We've been talking about it. Thursday Night Football is back, and it's a clash between NFC South foes. Buccaneers eager to get off to a hot start after a rough beginning, and the Panthers trying to bounce back from that loss to the Rams. It's already a statement game. It's Bucs and Panthers. Remember, we're all rivals here. Thursday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. The Niffle!
Hey! Doesn't really feel like football's back until we get that first TNF, Thursday Night Football experience. Time, guys, to grab your Microsoft Surfaces for a little big deal or no big deal.
Okay.
Let's keep it with the Thursday night game. Talk Christian McCaffrey. He saw 100% of the offensive snaps in week one. He touched the ball in 29 of their 67 snaps. QB Cam Newton addressed his running backs' touches in his presser yesterday.
You know, as I'm reviewing plays and I'm turning the plays, H this and H that, and if you don't know, he's the H. So we like certain things. I'm like, man, I think Coach got C-Mac up for fantasy this week. I think he picked C-Mac for fantasy. I think that's what it is. Doggone Norv picked C-Mac for fantasy, man.
A lot of people picked C-Mac for fantasy, and it'll be interesting to see if all of that usage keeps up Thursday night against the Bucs on NFL Network. Big deal or no big deal, Nate? The Panthers' offense revolving around Christian McCaffrey more than it does around their quarterback.
No big deal. This is the way it's supposed to be. When you have a dynamic running back like Christian McCaffrey and what he's been able to do since he's been in the league, he's gotten better and better each year. First, we thought he was a wide receiver / running back, catching out of the backfield. But no, he can do it all. So knowing that he can do it all, put the load on his shoulders.
It's a big deal just for that exact reason. If you have a one-note offense, it becomes a lot easier to defend. They had 66 plays with a tailback in the game, and that tailback, he was the guy every single time. Now, of course, the touchdown, I think in Fantasy K it's called vultured, was a fullback got the touchdown when it mattered there at the goal line. But the truth of the matter is, it does help to have a complimentary back there because when McCaffrey's there, you could be used as a decoy. So I would like to see Norv Turner maybe get some of these other guys involved. Scarlett is his name. Like, I don't even know the names. It's that unique that it's all about McCaffrey. Right. And I don't know if that's great for the long term. Yeah.
Just the cat pack. Let's go.
Cat pack. Samuel Moore, hello.
I wish Bucs coordinator Todd Monken would have Mike Evans in fantasy because I do, and geez. I'm going to go big deal. I call McCaffrey
Browns offensive coordinator. Now it's Byron Leftwich is the Bucs corner.
Like I said, should I take a lap?
No,
I guess it's not a big
Todd
deal.
Monken
Right.
jokes.
Got to refresh my Google or my Bing. I call McCaffrey the little blue diamond because he is little, he's blue, he gets you excited, and I personally don't have him in fantasy. But I think, though, that being a star running back for Cam Newton, we make the LeBron comparisons all the time. This is your Kyrie Irving. Right now, McCaffrey is a better player than Cam Newton. Cam Newton's never said that in his life since Pee Wee football. He is not the best player in his own huddle, and I think that's a good thing. It's the McCaffrey show. Get you fired up.
There was one point in that game, though, and it was real sunny outside, and he was towards the goal line, and he finished a play, and he got up, and he just looked so exhausted, young McCaffrey. He really did. I was like, he needs to take a break. I was a little bit worried. And now he's got this short game days later. We can't expect him to tote the rock 29 times or something, Shrakes. That's crazy.
8th overall pick. Ride him while you can. That's what we do with running backs.
Crazy.
Strong in the core. We'll be ready.
One minor detail you may have noticed from the Browns' Week 1 loss and that everyone was talking about was a little fashion, a $190,000 watch on the wrist of Odell Beckham. According to Ian Rappaport, the timepiece may violate a rule that prohibits wearing hard objects, and Beckham says that he's going to keep wearing the watch. Big deal or no big deal? Odell wearing a watch during games, because this is where we are, guys.
I'm going with the big deal.
Go on, Nate.
Because he's changing the game. I see you, Odell. Listen, man, a hard object, a helmet is a hard object. The face mask is a hard, your cleats, I can go on and on. Everything that you're wearing is a hard object, NFL. I get it. We're not supposed to wear certain stuff like that, but you gotta change the game. I went to the US Open for the first time and saw Serena out there with an Audemars Piguet. I don't know, I don't own one of those things. Maybe that's how it's pronounced. But that thing is expensive. They do it in the US Open. Why not? Let him rock it. And plus, I heard he was just testing out the durability of the watch. watch.
Peter?
You can easily go on Instagram and tag all these brands, and they'll give them to you for free, and you'll wear them. I know you will. I'm going to say no big deal. I actually think it's fun. Odell brings a little bit of flavor to this team that we already had with Baker, but it's almost like, wait a second, you're going to talk about Antonio Brown and other guys in the league? Wait, what about me? What about me? I say no big deal. He had an excellent game in his first week, and I think he's going to be just fine week 2.
Okay. I'd like to shout out to H&M.
You guys.
Looking me up. This is a big deal. He said also that the watch was actually plastic, so it's 190,000. It must be like real Egyptian plastic or something like that. But there's a lot of people who think that all the Browns watches run in 15-minute increments, but I'm actually going to hang with him because I like this. If he wants to wear a watch, he's a peacock. If it makes him look cool, if it makes him feel faster, wear it. I don't care if he does a Flavor Flav clock around his neck. I need Odell to score some touchdowns next week. Doesn't matter to me. Big deal when he's comfortable.
It also is cool to not wear knee pads and a dorky helmet when you ride a bike, but there's a reason for the rule that you have to wear them, guys. It's a safety issue. I'm sorry to be.
Who?
What do you mean? Why is there a rule that you can't wear sharp objects?
Who's going to get hurt with a watch on your hand?
A plastic
There's
watch.
a reason that you don't wear watch. Am I wrong that the rule is
I think that's the reason. It's an extra. You can use it as a weapon of some sort.
It's not getting fined for wearing a different colored wristband or different colored socks. This is a hard, I believe, breakable, even though durability and endurance is clearly what's being tested, object. I guess I'll be the grandma curmudgeon here. I think it's this.
You sound like it.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line then? Then I'm going to wear Christian Louboutin spikes on my watch next. Like, come on.
It's a watch.
I would draw the line of spikes.
He's not running around.
I think
a flaming watch I wouldn't wear.
It's an object that he has on him while he's playing the hardest contact sport in the world.
Yes.
Where do you draw the line? It's not them trying to like take away his swagger or his sauce or his drip.
The helmet is the hardest thing on the body.
Right.
The watch is insignificant.
Didn't Reggie Roby used to wear a digital watch?
Yes.
When he punted?
Yeah,
There's no problem there.
Guys wear chains. You can't wear a watch. Guys wear rings.
So should someone rip off the watch who's guarding Odell? Like pull the full,
It's part of the jersey.
Crabtree.
Rip it off.
Exactly. Do it. Go on.
Kirk Cousins. Let's move on. He tied a.
He's probably got an awesome watch.
Grace is so over this.
No, I'm still on the Christian Louboutin spikes. I wear Alexander McQueen every week.
Okay, we got to talk about Kirk Cousins because he tied a career high in passing attempts last season with 606. If week 1 is any indication, that's not going to be the case this season, Schrags. Cousins only threw 10 passes in the team's win over the Falcons. You're high on this squad.
I am. I think the Vikings are going to win the NFC North. I've been saying it all summer. I'm going to go with it. I think it's a big deal because it shows a change in tune for what the Vikings' identity is going to be. Last year, they were throw it all over the yard and lose 41-40, and Cousins has 1,000,000 yards but can't get the big play at the end because they can't move the chains.
So is it a big deal or no big deal that they're moving more towards a running offense?
It's a big deal. We are a tough team that's going to win in the trenches, NFC North. Bring on the Packers. Bring on the Bears. We're going to grind you out in the trenches, and we're going to win games. That Falcons team is a good Falcons team. They beat the snot out of them. Big deal. I like this identity.
This is a big deal because we know that Kirk Cousins can roll over and throw for 4,000 yards, but the simple fact that he didn't have to, and Dalvin Cook looks so good. We got to imagine this is week 1. Can you even think about what he's going to do week 2 and beyond? Dalvin Cook was the reason why he didn't need to throw more than 10 passes. This is a huge deal. It takes a lot of pressure off of Kirk Cousins, who, as we know, feels a lot of pressure in big games.
This is a really big deal. We did angry runs yesterday. We ran up the most physically punishing runs. Kay voted for Dalvin, the one that we just saw against Dion, and felt he got robbed. I think majority rule, but Kay, I think you might have been right on that. Dalvin Cook looks so good, and if you look at what the Packers are going through right now, they got a pass in week 1. Aaron Rodgers is on the field afterwards saying, we got a defense. The Bears barely ran the ball at all. That is not going to be the mistake the Vikings make. Dalvin was shock and awe in week 1. I think he is the guy. I think it's a huge deal. The offense will go through him.
They threw the ball 10 times for 98 yards, Triggs, and completely obliterated an NFC contender.
Absolutely. And they dominated in the trenches, which is not what they did last year. Identity, Kay. Identity.
Big deal or no big deal? We have to take a short little break.
All right.
We have more fun up ahead, going over the hottest storylines, of course, getting you set for Thursday Night Football and Week 2. And we're breaking down the deepest passes of the week.
Oh, Deshaun.
It's time for The Long Show. I didn't know what the Gong Show was until yesterday.
Bong.
Nor should you.
I learned.
Like from our parents.
And the Jets collapsed in the 4th quarter. Any team that needs to bounce back more than these guys this week?
Ooh. The Steelers, the Browns, the Bears.
The Panthers, the Bucks. Thursday night on NFL Network.
Jet it go.